Now, tasks are entered in the order that we enter them, and that's how the numbering works. We add a new task to the bottom, it gets the next number. If we move them around manually, they are renumbered, so the tasks will always go 1 to however many tasks you have. Now, we can sort the tasks at any given time by any one of the available columns. So every one of these columns you'll see has a little drop down arrow just at the top of it, even the task mode, even though they're all the same mode. So if we went to the task name drop down arrow, you can see we can sort A to Z or sort Z to A. Now, there is also a lot of filtering options here, which we'll look at shortly. For the moment, we're interested in sorting. So I could sort my tasks by name by A to Z. And you can see that quite happily, they get added A to Z, but within any project summaries that are going on. So we have empty room as the first summary, because that's an E and comes before furniture, becomes before launch night. But then within there, they are then sorted alphabetically. Now that will make a bit of a mess of your Gantt chart because you'll have arrows going up and down all over the place. See that little section there? But for the status within the task pane, that could be quite useful. Just be able to sort them alphabetically and then print them. Who knows why you would want to do it, but it is possible. We can also sort them by any of the other columns, so we could use duration. Let's go for largest to smallest. And that way we get to see the longest tasks at the top. Again, the Gantt chart will move these bars, but the arrows are now going up and down and back to front, because they're not now in a sort of nicely top left to bottom right order. They are in alphabetical order of their duration. So the longest task we then see is at the top, which is buying the new furniture, followed by plastering the walls, followed by hanging the wallpaper. So we're listed there by longest duration first, and we could go the other way. Smallest to largest, so the smallest items are first. Notice that with the summaries, it then goes on the summary size. So the summary size there is 0.15 for launch night. So that's the first summary. And then within that summary, all of the subtasks are then in order of their duration. So the same for furniture. That's the next smallest section. Empty room, the next smallest. Prep room, the next smallest. Now when it comes to start and finish date, because we've already effectively sorted our tasks before we link them up, they are pretty much in start date order. So if I go back to start date and choose sort earliest to latest, we go back to our original order where the Gantt chart nicely is presented top left down to bottom right. But as you've seen, they don't need to be in that order. They could be in any order. You could pick any one of your columns and choose to have them in that order, either A to Z or Z to A. And just to finish, we might as well do the same with the finish date. Let's have the finish dates earliest to latest, which pretty much because of our project being chronological and one task following on from the other, has made no effect at all. But if we went the other way, latest to earliest, then you can see our project now looks like it sort of runs backwards because it goes from bottom left to top right and doesn't quite look right. Let's go back to where we were, earliest to latest. Now, as well as being able to do that sort by any one of the columns that are listed, so even the predecessors if you wanted to, we can go to the View ribbon and choose the Sort option. It has a drop down here. And this way we can choose one of the main column headings. So start date, finish date, we can sort by priority. So even that is a column we cannot see at the moment because we've not added it, we can still sort by it. We can sort by cost, again a column we cannot see, but we can still sort by it. Or we can sort by ID, which is the default. So we could go back to, let's say priority, because some of these have different priorities. And now they're in priority order, but we don't know what the priority numbers are without looking at the task information or adding the priority column. But we can believe it works. If I check measure the room, that has a priority of 900, which is why it's near the top. And if I come down to go to sleep, it has a priority of 500. Now within each of our sections, you'll see that that's 200, so that's the lowest priority within the section. So just like the sorting of any of the other columns, it does the project summaries first, and then within the project summary, each task is then sorted. So in our case, empty room is probably the most important section, and then within there, measure the rooms, and then take down the curtains is the lowest. So let's go back to the default, which is by ID, because you can see that they're not now in ID order. And that puts us back in the original typed in order where we've then possibly manually moved them around, but not changed their sort order. So that's sorting your tasks. An option you might want to take when you want them in a particular order, maybe date, maybe task name, maybe duration. But you always have that option under the sort by to go back to their original order, which is by their ID number.